Thank you, everyone, for coming back to my podcast. I appreciate you so much. Really, I do. I mean, it's your time, right? You're spending it with me, essentially. And I just want to, display my gratitude for that. Many of us, we don't even know each other, but you're finding some value in the things that I talk about. And that's everything to me. I just want to offer the information or the perspectives that I think about and share them with others to help them in their lives see things from a different perspective. Because I know how much perspective can change your whole reality. That's what happened with me when I accepted love into my life and I decided I was going to learn about love and how to love myself. I shifted my perspective from the negativity and the self-destruction, self-sabotage that I'd put myself in. Because really, nobody put me there but me. I was unable to talk about how I felt. So the inability to talk about how I feel with somebody and trust somebody enough to tell them the things that were going on inside of me was what held me back. And I'm okay to talk about that today because I feel like it's very common and it's very normal when we follow the things that hold us back all the way back to the root, to the core of the issue. We have to be accountable and responsible for whatever our role is in inhibiting our growth. Because we are the only ones that set limits for ourselves. We are the only ones that hold ourselves back. No one is doing that unless you're in physical confinement, right? But mental confinement is done by none other than you. And it's important to share that. I mean, it's important to become aware of that you are the only person holding you back. Because that's how we grow. And many people have come into a new year and they're looking to have a new mindset and shift their perspective, but they don't know where to begin. So in this episode, I want to talk about a relationship to self. I want to talk about where it can begin, how to start rewiring your brain or seeing things from a different perspective that are going to work for you and not against you. Because again, the patterns and the routines that you implement in the psychological patterns that you create are done by you. So to have this information and to understand it, what you can do and the power within it will give you the power to know that you are creating your own reality. So if coming into January 1st, 2024, you feel like you came into hell, well, you have an opportunity to walk out of it. And you can. Society said where I came from in my life, only 0.1% of people walk out of that and obtain some kind of stability within their life. I don't mind statistics because it just gives me an example that it can be done. But I also didn't let that limit me and hold me back thinking, oh no, only 0.1% of people actually can do it. Maybe I can't do it. I didn't even think of that. Not for a moment, because I believed in myself. I believed that I could do it. And that's where it began. Because I didn't know nothing about self-love and self-care. I had no idea. No one taught me that in school. And no one's teaching it still to these days. So we have to figure it out on our own. But that journey's personal, and it's one that's done within. But it's very beautiful once you start walking this road because it means you're going to shift your perspective to begin to understand how and why to love yourself and what that can do. Especially if you're a parent. The children you have around you, they look at you as an example. So we've kind of got to lead them, guide them to a place of understanding by being an example to understand it in our own lives. But another perspective is if you're too afraid to do this, that's okay too. But to be a voice for your children, to let them know that there's other information out there, other education, people who have been through things that can offer guidance because you're not able to give them the tools and the information that they need along their journey, then please offer them that because you do have that ability. You don't have to restrict them because you're restricted. And it's okay to be restricted, but it's more okay to accept that and offer your children something beautiful along the way. So believing in yourself is something that we've not practiced how to do. Because the world tells us very young that we must judge ourselves as others will judge us. So we become very limited in our beliefs, especially the belief of self. And I know that anything you practice, you get good at. So if we begin to think that we're only as good as our job, or we can only achieve this destination of retirement, or we can only achieve saving $100 a month to try and make something happen for ourselves, then that's all that we will do. But if we see opportunities to do more because we believe we can do more, that's where it begins. And that's how easy it is. I mean, I was homeless. And in 3 months, I started a company, a construction company. In 3 months, I had to teach myself how to work, had to teach myself how to think, had to teach myself how to learn again. But I just knew that I wanted something more. So I didn't let anything come between me and that goal. And of course, I made mistakes along the way. I made many mistakes. I think about it now and it's funny to me how many mistakes I made, but I never really let those mistakes hold me back. What I was learning was my emotions, because emotions are a big thing that dictates the outcome of a goal. If we let anger and frustration get between us and the outcome of the goal, well, that's where we'll fall into blame and victim mentality or make excuses as to why we can't achieve what we want to achieve. When really it's just us limiting ourselves again. So understanding that emotions can be a wonderful teacher for you, as they were for me, to see where I can be better and see how an opportunity of becoming angry and frustration is just another opportunity for me to learn about something is a wonderful tool on the journey. You don't beat yourself up when you lose your cool, you get angry. I mean, anger serves a function. But for me, anger is just there to teach me something that I need to learn about an experience. So I don't let the energy explode. I talk about it with myself or with others, and I learn about it. So that the next time it happens, I don't have that stored energy inside of me that I didn't process from the last time. I spoke about it with myself or with someone else. And that way it was released, transmuted into education. So the next time this happens, I know I have more education going into the attempt, which is really beautiful when you think about it, because our emotions can work for us. Of course they're valid. That's why we have a wide range of emotions, is to teach us beautiful things. If we didn't have sadness, we wouldn't appreciate happiness. Everything has duality. And it has duality because we need one to see the other, to appreciate the other. That's what gives it validity. So if you think you're a failure, you're actually a success. It's just a matter of perspective. You just have to see it a different way. And that's really what I want to help you see. Another thing that you can start with as well is kindness. Be kind to yourself. The thoughts of self-sabotage and self-destruction, we have to become aware of that. How far that's brought us, or how far that hasn't let us go. It's really important to see that self-confidence is imperative, but we must grow it again if it's been damaged. Usually it's a result of no one but ourselves, because no one can take our confidence away but us. If we give our power away to other individuals who believe that they can beat us down and take our confidence away, well then we did that. We gave it to them. And that's okay. Because acceptance is another very important tool along this journey of a relationship to self. You've got to accept how you have arrived in the situation you have arrived in. And you've got to be okay with everything that has happened along the road to get you to this point, because otherwise you're going to be living in the past over things you haven't processed. And you have to understand that the past has already happened, so you can't change it. There's no point in living in the past. The past is only there to teach you about the present moment. And we can look at everything that's happened for us as education. Because if it happens to you, well then you're limited because you're a victim or you're blaming someone. And the repetitive cycle of emotional excuse of not being able to process the experience will continue. For 23 years, I blamed my drug addiction on everyone else. And as I continued along the 23-year journey, I compounded more emotional traumas because I never dealt with the root problem when I was a child. So naturally, I just stored more and more trauma on top of it, just adding to all of the excuses as to why it wasn't my fault. But that just had me go in circles for 23 years. I never lived because I was too afraid to be open. Fear is the thing that's limiting us. If we really follow it all the way back, it's ego. Somewhere along the way, our ego was damaged, and no one taught us how to repair it. But that's the beauty of a relationship to self, is that you have the ability to repair ego. You really do. And that's not that big of a job when you think about it, or that difficult, because it just means you have to learn new tools, how to be kind to yourself, how to believe in yourself, how to accept yourself for who you are. It's so beautiful when you think of it like that. Yes, the emotions and the experiences that we've had up to this point that have held us back, us holding ourselves back, are difficult to accept and process for sure. But the wonderful thing about the past is it's already happened. So every day you wake up, you have an opportunity to be somebody new. I was 36 years old when I woke up a different human, because I chose to do something different in my life. I was so tired of going in circles, and many of us are, and we don't know a way out of it. But the way out of it is through your own actions, through your own understanding of self, and allowing yourself to make mistakes, and allowing yourself to be comfortable for not being given the tools and the education that you needed to navigate the journey to a place of self-love and awareness. But again, you'll see as you go through this journey how all of that happened for you. Because once you achieve it, and once you go on the journey of self-discovery, it is so beautiful to look back at your trauma. I see all the trauma that happened in my life as happening for me. Everything that happened along that 23-year drug addiction, the loss of my kids, the loss of myself, the loss of my freedom, it was everything that helped me be who I am today. And if I had to do it over again, I would. And many of us that are trying to avoid the past and not pay attention to it, you'll come to realize that it's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to you. And you'll see it from a different perspective, so you'll appreciate it. I don't mind looking at my past these days. It took me a while to figure out how to trust and how to communicate about it, but I never gave up because I wanted the tools and I wanted the education. And I was okay with making mistakes at arriving at a new destination. I made many, like I said, I made many mistakes, but it was through those mistakes that got me to the place where I am today. And I don't have it all figured out. Of course I don't. But I do understand peace, and I do understand freedom, and I do understand self-love and self-care. And it's so imperative to our growth in this life. Working on ourselves from within, just by being kind. Everything starts with kindness. And it's time. You need to allow yourself some time to do this. Make time for yourself. If you value it, make sure it has your time and attention. That's a big part of this. You have to value your personal growth. If you're only putting in 30 minutes a night or even 30 minutes a week, think of how long it's going to take you to learn something. But when you value something and you go all in on it, you'll learn very quickly. So you'll arrive at your destination at your own speed, as we all do, because we're all right where we need to be. And that's the truth. Many people will say to me, I want to be further ahead on my spiritual awakening or on my awakening or on my journey of self-discovery. And I tell them, you're right where you need to be. If the veil was lifted all at once, it'd be too much. And it is a lot when it does get lifted. Because it's all just real. And the reality of things sometimes can be difficult to digest because we've been ignoring it for so long. So you take off layers, layer at a time. But as long as you're peeling back the layers, and you're not just peeling them back, you're letting them go. You make peace with emotions and experience. You process them, and you allow them to serve as education to you to peel back the next layer. That is how you grow. That is how you lift the veil and you get through the awakening and get through the fear, and you replace it with love. Because love is truth, and love is education. And love is so beautiful, it will always steer you in the right direction. And at times, that direction is very difficult. Love is patient. Love is difficult. Love will challenge your beliefs. But when you see through the eyes of love, you'll know that it's true. And that's personal, between you and love. Love is spirituality. That's what it is. It's an understanding. And I want that for everyone. I truly do. I would love everyone to just understand love from within. That way you share it. Because love is a gift. It's so beautiful. Spirituality aspect of love is just what connects us all to each other. It just allows us to understand that we're connected to the earth, to the air, to the water, to the fire, and to each other. So it's one living, breathing consciousness that we all have the power to manifest our own reality through. So right now, where we see so many difficulties throughout the world, we have the power to change that. We don't have to rely on establishments to make decisions for us. We have the power to choose how we see the outcome of our lives. So if we focus on self-love and we replace fear with love by understanding it from within and allowing it to be a personal journey that we are going to achieve, then you'll share it. And the people that you share that with the most is your family, your children, because the children are here to shape a new earth. That's their purpose. But they need new teachers and new guides and new perspectives, because this pattern that we've been following, this agenda that's been indoctrinated into us, has gone on long enough. Because depression and mental health and emotional instability and a lack of education surrounding emotional tools and how to grow is just not there to teach them what they need to create a new earth. So we've come back at this time to change things, but we first must see the evolution within ourselves in order to evolve the children. Because the more teachers we have that are willing to be vulnerable about the things that held them back and see their trauma as education for them, the more benefit the children will have to grow, and the more the collective will grow into a true era of love and peace. And again, if love is understood from within and peace is understood from within, then it's personal, and we'll share that with each other. So it's individualistic, a part of a collective consciousness. That's so beautiful, because that means your unique individuality is valid and it's important. And it has a page in the manual of life, a story that can be shared with others so that we can all understand each other. And that's really important. So no matter the level of difficulty that you chose to come back and learn, we're all here to learn about love. And we really are. That's the thing we come to learn about. Are we able to traverse difficult traumas, experiences, and overcome them with love and see how they happened for us on the physical earth? That's everything. So I just want you to remember that, when you're trying to achieve some status within a corporation, you're so much more than a job title, and you're so much more than a bank account, because the things that I talk about are priceless. They are absolutely priceless. I don't claim to get people rich with money. The thing that I'm here to do is get you rich with love, because once you understand it, there's nothing that can hold you back. And you'll see that anything that you need and desire, you can make come to reality. You have that power. And that's what we're doing this year, is we're sharing education on how to do that. So I hope the tools in this podcast can help you grow a little more and apply them into your family or in your community. And if those that you are surrounded with are not supporting the same philosophy of personal growth, personal awareness, and replacing fear with love, then you need to take a really close look at your community, because it's very important on the road of evolution. Because those that are limited will limit you if you are in their company. And you have that choice, because the greatest power we all possess is to choose. So I just want to leave you with that. It's very important to understand and take a look at who's around you. If you feel that you will be alone through this journey, we all are when we begin it. I can promise you that. We are all alone on this journey when we begin it, because it's so new and it's so different from many of those that we're surrounded by. So yes, you will be alone, but you will learn to appreciate being alone, because you're not actually alone. You're getting to know yourself. And that is a wonderful part of the journey. So allow yourself to be comfortable in stillness, and allow yourself to be comfortable with no distractions going on around you. No television, no Netflix, nothing that's going to pull your attention from anywhere but within. And you'll know when you need a break. You'll know when you're tired. Listen to your body, listen to your heart, and listen to your mind, because they'll speak to you. I have so much love for anyone listening to this, and I have so much love for anyone who practices this. All I can do is share experiences from my perspective that I have gone through in this life, because everything that I talk about is things that I've applied in my own life. And many of you know my journey. Many of you know my story. I'm very open about it. but I'm open about it and I endured it to show you that no matter where you are in your life, you can overcome the position that you are and you can obtain love and share it with others and do whatever you want in this life. I mean, I'm just getting started and I've really just come into myself. I'm really just starting to understand my gift and my power, but I'm willing to share every bit of it along the way because that's not for me, it's for you. So if I can give you some of that power, some of that inspiration, some of that love, well, then I'm doing a good thing for the collective because we're going to grow this thing together. So much love for being there. Just if this hits for you, like really, please help me share it. Talk about it. I believe in this podcast because I believe in myself and I believe in the things that I'm doing. All I care about is love and an evolution from the current situation we are finding ourselves in where we're all bound by fear. I know there's new wonderful teachers that are here with beautiful perspectives that can help us grow and live in a world of love. So if that means something to you and at this point that I'm real, that I do believe in the things that I talk about and I will manifest this reality to come true, please share it because I need your help with that. I need your help to get this out there. And I need your help to allow others to see that they can overcome whatever holds them back. And I'll offer whatever tools and education that I come into, that I learn within my own life. And I'll also bring on guests who have gone through things in their life that hopefully can help you along your journey as well. Because there's many people that have learned about trauma and how to use it in their favor. So again, I appreciate you so much. And please give yourself an immense amount of gratitude every single day you wake up. No matter how dark it is, remember that the spirit inside is light. So it doesn't matter how dark your mind is, your heart is always light. And I know about that because there were some dark days along my road where I just didn't think I was going to make it. I didn't see the point anymore, but my heart just didn't allow me because I knew I was in there somewhere. So if you need to remember that you're not alone, you just tap your heart 3 times and say thank you. And I thank you. I really do. I appreciate you so much. My social medias, Real Talk for an Unreal World. My podcast is on Spotify and all podcast platforms. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, you can find me on all the podcast platforms. My YouTube, my Facebook, and my Instagram are all Real Talk for an Unreal World as well. My Twitter is Real Talk, 4 Unreal. I throw up quotes or things that I think about to generate conversations and ideas to help people throughout their day. Something other than the daily dose of news, destruction, and fear. I try to inject love in everything I do. So all of my social medias promote the same thing. I offer a class every Wednesday, a group discussion centralized around a topic. It's called Intimate and Interactive. And this Wednesday, today, because this episode comes up today, we will be having a conversation surrounding why we feel limited. So why the belief systems that we have adopted are there and designed and have been practiced to hold ourselves back. There's a Zoom link. You can find this on my Real Talk for an Unreal World page on Facebook. You can access the Zoom link. That's at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Wednesday, January 10th. Every Wednesday, I host this group. And basically, we come together to have a group discussion. And I check in with people first. If anyone has something they need to get off their chest that's been going on throughout the week, family, relationship, doesn't matter. We just share perspective and we listen to each other. And I've seen wonderful results happen within the class. And I'm not always the one that has the answer. And I don't ever claim to be. I just open up group discussions where we can learn from each other. And I think it's a beautiful space to do that because this podcast is really just generalized around one perspective. But I love multiple perspectives because we're all experiencing life on our own terms. So what worked for me might not work for another, but what worked for another might work for another. So it's great to try and connect those dots, right? So again, you can find that Zoom link on my Real Talk for an Unreal World Facebook page every Wednesday. My email is realtalkforanunrealworld@gmail.com. Email me if you need to see some perspectives or if you have something with a child that you need to see from another angle or you need help with something, anything in your life. If you just want to bounce an idea off me, please. I have time, and this is what I do with my life. I just appreciate everyone so much. Really, thank you. Thank you for allowing me a space to share about the things that I have on my heart. And I'm so grateful for the universe for allowing me to come back and have this journey so that we can evolve into a new state of being. I'm very, truly grateful for that. And I appreciate everyone. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.